Dawn looks up at the sunrise and breathes in the fresh morning air. Her hair soaking wet from swimming in the creek down by two trees. It's pretty much the only watering hole around, and all the locals know it as Two Tree Park because of the two lone trees that sit at the entrance of the gated park. Once inside the park, it is mostly crabgrass and sand, with a swing set for the younger kids and a couple of picnic tables for families and small gatherings. There used to be a gazebo, but it blew down a couple of years ago during the big storm. Now the area has been made into a makeshift volleyball court, netless of course, and no one really uses it, except for the small kids that use it to build sandcastles. Dawn sits at one of the tables and begins to feed a curious squirrel. There you go, little fella. One for you and one for me. Good thing I brought some peanuts today. The squirrel acted like he was listening, and then he zoomed down the table and up a tree. Within seconds it came back with an acorn. Oh, I see, said Dawn. Do you want to trade this for another peanut? As she sets one down in front of the little critter. The squirrel picks it up, cracks the shell, and eats the peanut. Dawn started thinking to herself, wow, doesn't he seem easy to please? I wish men were as easy. I never know what they want or what they are thinking, and I always end up making a fool out of myself. She sets another peanut down and continues to ponder. If only I could find someone just right for me. Everyone always tells me that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And if they are anything like this squirrel, then maybe there is something to that wives' tale. I'm just so tired of getting hurt and going through all the emotional drama that goes with meeting and courting a guy. And would think in these modern times, dating wouldn't be so convoluted. Even dating websites and personal ads were revolting to her. As she passed the morning with her newfound friend, eating peanuts and thinking about love and relationships, she realized it was getting a little late. Not only that, but the wind was picking up and some dark clouds were starting to roll in. All right, little fella, this will be the last one, as she sets a peanut on the table. Only this time the squirrel picked it up, jumped off the table, and ran up a tree. Oh, I see. Fine. Be that way, yells Dawn as she looks up the mighty tree. She then sees the little guy take the last peanut he gave, and he gave it to another squirrel. Oh, how cute. I wonder if that is his mate. Oh, wow, those clouds are really starting to thicken. I better get going. As she gathers her belongings and stuffs them frantically into her backpack, she notices the little squirrel is back at the table, and he is, oh, did you bring me another acorn? How kind of you, but I have to go now. The squirrel drops what it is holding, spins to the left, then winks, and then scurries off to the safety of his tree. Did that rodent just wink at me? I must be losing it. I need a boyfriend more than I realized if I think a furry little animal is hitting on me. Even though the squirrel's not the man of her dreams, he did leave her something, and as simple as it might be, it's the gesture that counts. So Dawn goes to pick it up. She reaches down for it and realizes it is shiny. That does not look like an acorn. I wonder what it could be. She raises it close to her face where she can get a good look at it, as it is getting really dark and stormy out. She can't quite make out the inscription because it is so dirty, but she can tell it's a ring of some sorts. Just when she starts to scrape off the dirt to get a better look, lightning cracks the sky. It splits into two and strikes both trees in the park simultaneously. The combined energy burst, knocks Dawn out. She awakens a couple of hours later, down at the local veterinarian. Her eyes begin to open as the chaos of all the animals making noise has startled her. But upon opening her eyes, she is even more shocked to see a blinding light shining in her eye. Nothing wrong with her that I can tell, said the animal vet as he turns off his flashlight. Just a little shaken up, that's all. Then someone else spoke. Miss, I'm the officer that found you. I was doing my routine check on the park, and I found you laying there on the ground. Since we are so far out in the country, I brought you here. Can you speak? Are you okay? Yes, I feel fine. Just a little headache. That's all. No worries, miss. Your fiancé is on his way over right now to pick you up. He was worried about you. Okay. Wait, did you say my fiancé? That can't be right. I don't even have a boyfriend. Well, miss, you are a little jolted up. When we called him, he seemed genuinely concerned about what had happened to you. He said he would be here within minutes. Just then, a car door was heard outside. Well, that must be him now, said the officer. Dawn got nervous and afraid. Even though she knew she got jolted by a lightning bolt, she was pretty sure she did not have a boyfriend, much less a fiancé. As the front door opens to a full swing, the gentleman's eyes and Dawn's eyes lock for the first time, and both of them at the same time say, "Who is this?" The vet and the cop looked perplexed. Well, sir, said the officer, it's like I told you on the phone. I found this young lady out by 2 trees, passed out in the storm. The only thing on her was a backpack with a Walkman, some peanuts, and 2 bottles of water. But clenched in her fist was your high school class ring. See? Here it is. Yes, said the young man, that is my class ring. Not sure how you got it, but I have never seen this woman before in my life. The young man then took the ring from the officer and started looking at it very closely. He was fighting as best he could, but a couple of tears started to run down his cheek. Where did you get this? The young man asked. I just told you, said the officer. The young lady was clenching it when I found her. I am talking to the lady, he said, not you. And he asked again, where did you get this? Dawn spoke softly. This morning, I was down swimming at the creek, over at 2 trees. Afterwards, I was snacking on some peanuts with a squirrel, and he gave me that. And then the strangest thing happened. It's almost as if he winked at me. The officer and vet began to chuckle, but the young man found nothing to be funny. What do you mean he winked at you? With which eye? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's been a weird day. I mean, I don't know. Wait, I remember. He turned to the left, paused, and then winked. The young man turned pale as a ghost. Look, I know you just met me, but I can give you a ride to where you are going. If that's okay with you 2 guys, right? The vet and officer nodded, then looked at another and started talking about fishing. The young man walks Dawn over to her side of the car and opens her door and asks her where she would like to go. It's been such a crazy morning, and with all this excitement, I think I need to get something to eat. Sounds great. Would you like some company? I'm starved, and I know a little diner between here and 2 trees. Oh, I know that place. I thought it was closed down. It was for a couple of years, since the last big storm. I have been fixing it up for the new owner. Dawn sits down in a retro booth at the diner. Wow, this is nice. I love how you are fixing it up. Just then the waitress comes over. Can I get you 2 something to drink while you look over the menus? Thanks, Mom, said the young man. You already know what I want. And for you, young lady, tea, please. As the waitress walks off, fixing it up for the new owners, huh? Well, yeah, I just never mentioned it was my family. Mom is quick, and before they can converse any further, she is back with their drinks. Okay, all set. Do you 2 know what you will be having for lunch? Mom, something has happened. Please sit down. She gets a worried look on her face. Nothing like that, Mom, look. And he shows her his old high school class ring. Where did you get that? She asked. Dawn found it. Well, I didn't really find it, Dawn speaks. Actually, a squirrel gave it to me. A squirrel, said the mother surprisingly. Yeah, then he turned to the left and winked at me. He did what? Exclaimed the mother before passing out. Moments later, Dad is fanning Mom and refreshing her with some old-fashioned homemade lemonade. Dawn, now more alert than earlier, is catching on and asks, okay, so what is the big mystery behind your class ring? Why did you tear up earlier? And why did your mom react like that? Well, just over 2 years ago, I got engaged to my high school sweetheart. I had given her my class ring way before that when we were dating back in high school. She would wear it on a necklace around her neck and would never take it off. She disappeared during the big storm a couple of years ago, and no one has seen her since. Do you think you can show me the place where the squirrel gave this to you at? Of course. Let's go after lunch. When the two arrived there, it is already a small scene, as a young man also notified the officer. All right, you two, this is your show. It better be worth it. Dawn leads them towards the picnic tables. The storm is long gone and is now sunny out. She points to where the tree that the squirrel kept running up used to be, and told them all about her morning. After telling her story, she stated that she was tired and wanted to go home to rest. The young man was eager to drive her home to safety, while the officers stayed at the park to continue their investigation. The next morning seemed like an eternity from the day before, as Dawn slept like a rock. Dawn showers and then heads downstairs to the kitchen. Her roommate is watching TV in the living room and calls her in there. Hey, check this out. Look at what's on the news. As she sits on the couch with her bowl of cereal and begins to watch the news, she immediately freaks and says, Hey, turn that up. Breaking news this morning as police have identified the body of a young woman that has gone missing years ago. Dawn is mesmerized by what she is watching, as the newscast goes into details about the woman and begins to show old pictures of the girl. Her roommate asks, Hey, didn't we know her? I think she used to swim down at Two Trees. Shh, said Dawn, I'm trying to watch this. The news then cut to video of the young woman in her cheerleading outfit. And wouldn't you know it, the young lady did a quick turn to the left and then winked. All that was just 2 years ago, recalls Dawn, as she breathes in the fresh air, opens her eyes, looks up at the sunrise by the creek and says, I do, to the love of her life. The newly built gazebo provides the perfect romantic setting for a sunrise wedding by the creek. After the news release, Town Hall was inundated with people giving donations, so the community decided it was time to restore the park to the way it was in the beginning. Everyone showed up and planted sod, trees, shrubs, and flowers. Others built boardwalks and paths, and they even rebuilt the gazebo, only they doubled its size and added electric lighting. As Dawn and her husband share their first kiss as a married couple, they can't help but notice, as they glance over at all the railings of the gazebo and even the boardwalk, the amount of squirrels that have shown up to witness this event. There must be hundreds of them. After they kiss, they chuckle, and Dawn speaks softly into his ear. Looks like Squirrel Park is already living up to its namesake.